What's up, dude? How are you?
Good, man. How are you? How are you?
Dude, it's been a fucking crazy day. To be real with you, one of my coworkers died really unexpectedly.
Oh, geez. I'm sorry to hear that.
Very young father, I cannot explain to you how crazy it is. Just fucking
Dude,
works wild, just shit's going on.
that,
Maybe this will work.
man, that is a shame. Damn, that is a
Yeah,
shame.
dude, his kid, well, I work in an elementary school and his kid just got to middle school. So I've known him for a bunch of years and it's just like I cannot fucking believe it. It's just one of those. It
Wow.
always happens. It always happens to the worst ones, to the best ones, or whatever.
Was it like something?
His heart just fucking stopped. He went back to Ohio, where he and his wife are from, and fucking just done.
Oh, geez, man. That
He was
is,
he, he was younger than me. Fucking crazy town.
that's, that's nuts, man. That's so fucking nuts.
Our whole school is just fucked. Like we're already massively short staffed, so like everyone, like he was just like a very energetic person. We are gonna miss him so much,
Damn,
so
man.
much.
That is, damn. Fucking sucks, man.
Yup.
Well, now we're gonna talk about on that somber note, we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about gorillas having sex with lions.
Yes. Please, distract me with the full force of your anger. Let me hear
Well,
all the
oh,
things.
you're about to get it. Let's do
Let
the
me get
intro
all.
first. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Panels on Pages. My name is Dali Borjevich. This is Ben Krieger. and
It's
uh
German. I don't know. They roll the R, so I don't think so.
and he is the man behind Frontier Forever, which is a at this point multimedia franchise of stories. And I have just finished reading, well, listening to the book, uh, which was the first thing out, correct?
Yeah, it's not chronologically first, but it was technically
Right.
the
It was
first
it was
release.
it was the first product that was released. And boy, do I have a few words to say. I will drop the warning right now. There will be spoilers ahead. If you have not read Frontier Forever Under the Shadow of the Plateau, please read that or listen to it, or however you need to do it, and then come back to this podcast.
And before you get asking, let me ask you: have you read any of the So
I
Regenesis
read the
technically came out.
first issue. So
So the Kickstarter for the first book and first issue of Regenesis came out at the same time. So technically, they were both released at the
oh,
same time.
interesting. Okay, okay.
But the
So
series still
so
this.
my box, which is still up there, by the way, my box, which is
I
still up
love it.
there, that was for the same time, because I thought you had the, or was that for two? Maybe I jumped on it
That
too.
that was number two.
Ah, okay,
Hmm.
okay.
The when you get to now that you've read the book, you're going to be one of the first people who gets to issue 3 of Regenesis and is like, oh wow, it's a scene that you've been waiting to see.
Okay.
It's a scene you've been waiting to see.
Well, I've got some guesses as to what it could be, but
Yeah,
so
you
I
could.
read Regenesis one like a while back, like
Yeah,
uh yeah, because I
it's
had you
like
in Catalyst, right? Yeah, I had you in Catalyst.
it's
So
like a year ago.
I read it then, and I honestly, I kind of felt lost. Like it was super interesting, but I was lost. But reading this and just like having that as like information I already have, the like just the opener of like this didn't go like you did this last time, and I was like, wait, what do you? How does he know this? And then like I'm just in there. I'm in there right away. That was, first of all, what an interesting mechanic. Like what an interesting
Hmm.
universe mechanic. This like this respawn, literal respawn.
I'm so glad you think so. Yeah,
Where
exactly.
where did like how do you get from this is the future of people to we're regenerating clones effectively?
I mean, it was a perfect storm. It came from a lot of different directions. It's like honestly, it's what I think would happen. Like if you just go to the height of technology, imagine what you want. I feel like we're going to end up there. There's going to be so many people who want that, and it's just gonna, manifest itself. But at the same time, it also is like it's super meta convenient talking about video games and video game culture because it's a really big part of the migrant laborers. They all, you know,
Yeah,
they're
that
they're just internet homies.
that that's like it's such an interesting, like, everyone's breaking the rules, but everyone's kind of okay with it because the system functions with everyone breaking the rules. If
Yeah.
people didn't break the rules, the system wouldn't function.
And so here we're getting into spoiler territory already. Like, if you think about what the poacher's function on Earth is, I mean, it actually works for the migrant laborers too. But like, there's a massive animal population that has been that way forever, and then there's the poacher population, which is, you don't really think about what their culture would be because they're never kids, they don't have families, they're completely sterile, they're only born to go out and hunt these animals that are
Oh,
actually
I
like
didn't catch that they
populating
were
the Earth.
sterile.
Yeah,
I thought
I
this was just
mean,
like an occupation somebody picked.
you think about how all the fucking migrant laborers are male too. Like these, it's really like video game. It's like they're spawning into a video game. The USI soul thing out
Oh,
in space is like, okay, I'm gonna go and buy a soul, which was just like I'm gonna put my personality, or I don't know, it doesn't really define how much of you goes, but it's like you rent, you buy a life on Earth. You put a coin in the machine and you pop out on Earth for a life.
oh man, like I missed that somehow. That's crazy. Dude, that's
Well,
the thing.
it's
Like there's so much in this book, right? So first I want to say the performance was a little hang up for me. Um
mm,
Besides like a couple mispronunciations, which was whatever, that like you get over that because it wasn't constant. It wasn't like the last two books that I read that both had the person pronounce a word correctly and I have been saying it wrong my entire life. And I was
that's
just like,
upsetting.
you're saying it wrong and it bothers me, even though you're saying it correctly. Like I couldn't deal with it. But it was just a couple, like honestly, I'd say probably less than 5 times that I caught something being mispronounced. The but there was just something about the voice that if I wasn't focused on it, I'd lose minutes, and reading it one and a half, like listening at 1.5 times, I'm losing chapters. Like,
I hate
yeah.
when that
So I would
happens.
like,
And
I zone back in, like shit. How do we wait? How do we get here? Damn it! Like I reread the first 3 chapters probably 4 times.
well, I've had people say he goes fast, and I thought so too during the reading, and it came out a lot significantly shorter than the and Amazon expected the read time to be. I
Mm.
wonder if part of the reason that it's hard to get into is because of the speed he's reading. But we do have he's promised to go back. I need to do, I don't know. I guess I need to listen to it and make some more notes to like really get it fine tuned. But he has promised to go back. But I'm sorry he had trouble getting into it. I hope
I mean,
the story was enough to.
it was, oh, absolutely, absolutely. That's the thing is like if it was like a matter of I don't like the performance and the story's not capturing me, I wouldn't have kept going. Like there's,
Sweet.
as we all know, there is an infinite amount of media now. So like if there is absolutely zero reason to watch something that you're just kind of like, meh, like
Very shortly I'll be able to have AI read it for me, and then I can do all the
that
fine
is
tuning I
getting
need.
that is getting like appropriately in the conversation too. That is getting really, really interesting and scary at the same time. Like
Yeah,
real, real fast.
the current comic book drama is very, very relevant to my story. Where it's like, I hope that all this AI conversation brings some light to my story. That'd be nice.
I hope so. I hope so. Like it's so interesting. So the first thing that really, like, I'm going through, I'm like just absorbing everything because I'm like understanding now, okay, we're respawning. The doctor was respawned. I did like that her response was different, so she didn't kill him this time. But in my
Hmm.
head, I for some reason in my head I was like trying to resolve it as this is the same story, even though like I understood that this was the first or the second time around, uh because I had read the other one first. In my
Yep.
brain they were happening at the same time, like I was kind of replaying it, and I was like, but he dies, but then I'm like, but she doesn't kill him, so like it's different.
Yeah.
So
I
like
saw his head
both,
explode.
yeah, but both are true, which is fucking
Hmm.
crazy. uh I get to uh the matriarch. Wow, that bitch.
Yeah. You think
That
she's pretty
fuck
evil, huh?
that fucking bitch.
Mm-hmm.
The first, so like I didn't catch anything wrong. Like when I read the first issue of Regenesis, I didn't catch that there was anything wrong. When I listened to like the first couple
Oh,
chapters,
really? You didn't think she was sinister in that?
I didn't see it. I didn't see
Mm.
it. It was I don't know what it was about it.
Mm.
Maybe it was seeing the nun outfit, right? Like there's something like it instills trust, which is weird and I probably shouldn't, but then
Well,
when I'm listening and she disrobes, she takes off her habit, which I was like, it's weird, but I know that term specifically because of like two other pieces of media because I don't really consume a lot of media with nuns in it. So I just thought it was funny that she's like, when I heard that, I was like, I know exactly what's happening right now. Like I can perfectly
mhm.
visualize what's happening. And I'm like, the only reason she puts it on is to put on this face for people. And I'm like, oh, this bitch is into some shit. Like, and then as the book goes, it becomes very, very abundantly clear that she is into all the shit.
Yeah, dude, she is. I mean, that's the thing because I'm glad that you pick up her being super sinister too. Some people don't. Some people are still like, they're so curious about her motives that they don't want to like go down the false hole. But like, she's definitely into some shit. When
She's playing everybody. She's playing I mean, like what I for at first I was like, oh, she like my first instinct was, oh, she's like just trying to manipulate the board to try to like do what's best for Earth, right? That was my initial. I was like, she's just trying to play the
are you
politicians
sure
and the
she's not though?
hey,
Are you sure she's not
by
though?
the end, she's absolutely not. Fuck
How
that.
do you sure? How do you
Fuck that.
know?
Shit. No, come on.
What makes you so sure?
Because she's playing everybody, and if she's playing
Yeah,
everybody,
she
she's
definitely
got
is.
completely external motivations. Like her motivations
She's
are not for the benefit of any
yeah.
group, they're
Are
for
you
her own
sure
benefit.
though? What do you
it
think it is? You think it's self-serving?
I think this bitch is a robot.
I mean, oh, okay. So
I think she's a werebeing. I think she's trying to bring I think she's trying to bring back what was, because I
my
know that
my
like I haven't read the Tomorrow's Yesterday yet, which is
no,
the
but
graphic.
pointing from the book, would that she has internal monologue about hating machines. So could it be that she's a machine programmed to hate machines?
Yes. Because
Okay,
if she
I
because
got
she
you.
knows that there are because she knows that the triggers are in the
Mhm.
Marshall. She knows the triggers are there. Why would
She's def
I mean
she's definitely
she
doing that.
put them in?
But what self-serving goal would she have for putting those in? Why does she want that?
Well, that I don't know yet. But
That is the key.
that's why I call that's why I messaged you at the end of it, and I was
Mhm.
like, "How are you just gonna end the fucking book here?" Like
You,
it was just all building, and it's like, "Oh, here's information," and you're like, "Oh shit!" And it's like the fucking the space army's coming, and they're fucking ready to trigger, and I'm like, "Oh my god, what the fuck's about to happen?" And it's like, "This has been audible," and I was like, "You motherfucker!" Like,
you want to know something else really rude? Book two begins with the same fight from Morton's perspective. It's pretty good. Morton, like you just get to see it from Morton's perspective when he was getting beat by the marshal, and then it goes.
the
Um,
first Marshall.
no, the same fight at the
Oh,
end of the book.
oh man, I thought, man.
The same
I was
fight at
like,
the end of the book.
are you gonna give me what is that fucking Ender's Game? Whereas you're gonna give me the same fucking book for the other side?
No, it literally it does that for one scene, just the shootout, the showdown,
That's cool
and
though.
then
I'm cool with that. Like
and and then you go
I
asking
like
that exact question.
I like his I like his like Morton's such an interesting character. I really thought he like based on Regenesis, I really thought Morton was gonna be just like classic, scumbag bad guy,
See, he's the self-serving one.
Wheeler and Dealer. Yeah, like, and he absolutely is. But I thought he was gonna be like more the mob boss type, but then just like the
Ha-
frustration. First of all, I love the like the paralysis thing he has. Like what is it, like fear paralysis, or like a I don't even know what to call it. That's such an interesting like I say feature, but like such an interesting characteristic that like from that and Frank being so fucking loyal that he just like all
Mhm.
he does everything to try to make him not fall into that funk. Like
They're the
and
ultimate dynamic duo.
it like feels so genuine and it, like
Yeah, they're so cute.
you forget that he's programmed to do this. Like
Yeah.
he has to do this, but like
Well,
it feels so genuine. So it's like even on top of the programming, it's like it feels like he genuinely cares about him, which is cool.
that is the begging of the question, because he's all of those people are clones.
Right.
All of them are born with pre-ed. All of them have genetic dispositions to make them be a certain way. So is he less of a person than Morton? You don't act, Morton does have a mother actually, but like most of the people that they
Has
interact with do
Morton
not.
respawned?
No, Morton's a regular dude.
More okay, so
But
Morton has no implant, so Morton can't respawn.
cor- uh correct. He was actually born. Not only can he not respond, he was born from a womb, unlike like 99% of the population there. It's not relevant to this story though. That's a side story.
I mean, that's it, but it's interesting information to know. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, see, so like they're like, oh shit, like she's been playing us this whole time. Fuck it, we're gonna go be poachers. And then he's like, oh shit, she's building an army. I'm gonna try to steal that shit. Like it's very much trying to find the victory in whatever the situation is. I like the hustle of it. I like the hustle of it. Because at the
He
end, he doesn't even necessarily care about the marshal. It's just like, I'm just trying to win. I'm just trying to get a W here. Like you're just in the way. It's not even
that
about her anymore.
That's
Them.
because he keeps his eye on the prize. His eye is always on the end zone, and once he realizes that it's the fucking matron that pulling all the strings, he gets as mad as you were. It's like that fucking bitch. I fucking hate that space witch.
I
Um,
did like that Frank was like feeding him the information. Like Frank had already done the research and was
he's
just
such a
like, I'm
sweetheart.
gonna let you get to the conclusion yourself. And then the like little flip in the third act where it's like he got it before Frank did. I was like, I like that. I like that. It's a little smooth because it does give a little more credibility to Morton
Why is he the
as
boss?
yeah, like
Like
he's got some intelligence, he's got some
he's
insight.
he's not there for no reason. He did
Yeah,
hire the right guy. He
yeah,
he got the right goon off the
for
internet,
sure,
but
for sure. He got the right
mhm.
goon off the internet. I like that. But
did you did you ever watch Sergio Leone's Once Upon a Time in the West?
no.
It's his best one. It's not in the Man with No Name series, but it's fucking super good. The only bad thing about it is it's Charles Bronson, which I'm not a huge fan of. But the movie's fantastic, and it has Morton's name is taken from it, but he's actually based on another character in that movie called Cheyenne, who
Mm.
is that you see him at the very beginning do a brutal fucking murder. He murders some fucking kids and stuff, and you're like, damn, this guy is fucking out for money. But then he fucking realizes that he doesn't care about money, and at the end he ends up like, I just don't want to be the bad guy, I don't care about money, so he does the right thing. It's fucking crazy good.
So I presume it's a Western.
It's yeah, it's a spaghetti western too. It's like Sergio Leone's the guy who does the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's like the
Okay.
same movie as got the good, bad, and the ugly, but with better pacing.
I it's weird. I am not a fan. I'm not a huge fan of Western.
Oh come on,
Western
they're so good.
Western for me has to like it has to begin and end with a great story.
Hmm.
But like Western setting
What
has
have you seen that you don't like?
that I don't like.
Yeah, I mean, why do you hate it? Because I'll tell you what you should watch based on that. You should watch Once Upon a Time in the West. Like really, wherever, that's not a mistake. That's a great one.
Okay.
Unforgiven. Have you seen that? It's fucking Clint Eastwood is directorial debut, and he's like old when he does it. He plays an old cowboy with Morgan Freeman and his buddy. It is fantastic. So
See,
good.
it's interesting.
There's
I
there's
do,
so many good westerns.
this is going to be weird. This is going to be a weird statement, but I can't think of a bad one that I've seen, but I've been
Mm-hmm.
extremely picky. Like I've been very, very picky. So like I go based on like like I watch or go because of an excellent trailer. Like the cast for me has to be like known,
Yeah. What if
like top tier. I watched
What
so
have you
like
liked then?
310 to Yuma was really
Yeah,
good.
it's pretty good.
Um, I liked both versions of oh, what the fuck's it called? Dude hired by little girl to
Yeah, with Rooster Cogburn. What the fuck
Rooster.
is
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
called? Um,
I like both versions. I like the newer
yeah.
one more, but I did like both versions. Although the old one was definitely like I understand why the fuck's his name? The fucking actor.
John Wayne.
John Wayne. I understand like I understand the like place John Wayne had in like culture at his time.
Well,
Um
that's 100%. When I asked what you didn't like, I thought you were going to say some John Wayne movies because a lot of them, like, they just don't stand the test of time. They don't have good pacing. There is a good story there, but it doesn't come out.
right. And I think that's probably what I like usually end up
Yeah,
like changing the channel on is like if I'm
it's a
watching and there's nothing gripping, there's nothing like really interesting. Like I like the concept
yeah.
of that story. So like when we watch I think we ended up watching the old one first, and then we watched the new one. Damn, I really wish I could remember the name of that fucking.
Yeah, what is it? Fucking. It's about his attitude. Oh no, a True Grit.
True Grit, exactly. Yes, True Grit.
Yeah,
So we watched the old one first, and I was like, okay, like not great, but I really like I like the concept. This concept of like this little girl hiring a cowboy to go and like
yeah.
get revenge, and like I dig that.
That was
Uh,
my biggest criticism of the new one is that they didn't do her as good. Like she fucking owned in the old one so good. Oh,
I
she's
like see
so good in
it's
the old
funny.
one.
I like the actress, and then she went on to do some really cool shit
Yeah,
afterward.
she's good. I just feel
But
like the no, I definitely don't blame her. I blame the writers, but I just like didn't feel like they didn't make her as you know like I think they were afraid to make her spunky and they forgot to make her badass. Like
yeah,
she
I
just
mean,
needs to be a little more badass.
she was very much more reserved, a little more
Yeah,
puritanical. Like that's the fucking like the word that comes to mind when I think of her. Like she was
it's never
very like proper young lady kind of thing, just trying to get something done. She
hmm.
didn't have the fire. The fire wasn't there. Um,
Yeah.
Open Range I saw was pretty
Who's
good.
that?
Oh my god, I gotta
Is that a
look that.
Costner one? Open
No,
range.
no, no, no. But I did end up watching Dances with Wolves, which I really fucking hate watching Kevin Costner movies because they take 7.5 years to watch.
Yeah,
But that one was like that was the last in a string of movies where we watched like a version of history where white people fuck some shit up. And I was
yeah,
like, we need to watch shit like set in science fiction or deep fantasy. Like I'm a little fucking like we've only tasted the fucking impact of shitty white people throughout history, and I am fucking worn out, bro. Like I
yeah.
can't like I was by because at the end of it, I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna end in a like a kind of a positive, like he joins the community, whatever, whatever. And then it's like, no, we gotta fucking run because the whites are coming. And I was like, ah, fuck.
The fucking whites again
Goddamn whites. Like
every time.
I was so mad. Like the whole last fucking bit of them just like going off into the fucking mountains and the fucking snow and all that shit. I was like, just like it just like brings you down. Which like I get it, that's the point. But
Yeah,
like,
and Costner really
but that
did.
was like I
He's
said,
the
like
one
it's
who
like
made
the
that
fourth.
happen.
It was like the fourth fucking time we had watched a movie back to back that was just like really fucking like true history kind of shit, but you know, fictionalized. And I was like, we gotta pause this and we gotta watch the Fast and Furious or some shit. Like we gotta change the pace because this is killing me. Open Range. What the hell is his name? Um, oh shit, it is Kevin Costner. Robert Duvall. That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, it was
Oh,
Kevin Costner. Robert Duvall and Kevin
yeah.
Costner. I really like Robert Duvall.
Me too, dude.
I
He's the
like that
fucking
one,
man.
but like I remember seeing the trailers for what was it? Something Mountain. Uh
Cold Mountain.
Cold Mountain. I had no fucking
Cold.
interest. And like I've
Can't
heard
remember.
good things, but like everything I saw about it, I was like, nah, like it never drew me in. Like
There's
I'd say
another one.
probably total I've seen like actual Western set in like the old West. I've seen 10 maybe max
Yeah.
all time.
I
But that's
mean,
why like especially when I'm reading or when I'm like when I'm reading comics, um like
not into the motif.
it's just, yeah, like if like the bit is more important than the story, I don't really care. Like if it's about, oh, it's sheriffs and it's duels and it's all meh. But it, like on the same level, when it's really fucking good, i.e., oh my god, I have to remember the name of it. They're making a
Which
movie
one's that
right
one?
now.
I can't see it. It's too small.
Oh my god, I feel like I'm a bad friend.
What is
um,
that?
oh my god, damn it! I gotta turn around. I gotta look at the book. Where is it? Crap. Hold on, I'm just gonna look it up.
Let me see the poster. Can't
Universe
see it.
M. Universe M.
Oh, well,
Uh,
Universe M, Legion M.
no. They're
I don't know it.
the minor boys. Universe M. See, like I didn't even have to type the whole word. Uh, they redid the website. There's nothing on there. They're redesigning the website. Jake, just go on his Facebook. Reno from No Rest for the Wicked. Jesus, that fucking, I can't believe I forgot that. But here's the poster actually, which is right behind me. It's super cool. No Rest for the Wicked. I featured Jake's art in the most recent issue of Catalyst. So you should
Oh,
definitely check that out. That shit is so good. Like it's the story of it is way more important than the like the setting, and that's what I see in a lot of, especially like a lot of Western uh comics and a lot like a Western TV. Like the setting itself is more important than like the
what?
actual
My mind goes to goes to Deadwood. What's the last Western TV show?
Deadwood.
Deadwood was
Yeah,
Dead was all right.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I don't know. Like I put it out of my head. It's anyway. The aesthetic is not what captures me. For me, it's always been the story. So that's why
Well, that's
like
true with everything.
when I first not necessarily. I will forgive a lot in sci-fi land.
For what, spaceships?
I will forgive a fuck ton in sci-fi land, bro.
For spaceships?
Yeah, not just
Ah,
spaceships. But like that's the thing, right? Right. You blend the two in your story, right? I won't lie. When I first saw your shit, I was like, damn it, Western. But then I was like, wait, hold on. Like fucking
well,
giant fucking like Dark Knight motorcycle. What the fuck's going on? Like I was like in there. Now there's more to it. Now there's layers.
I mean the traditional Western narrative is a very important part of my story. It's all about manifest destiny. It's like, it's just the progress, and that's what excuse me, that's what the name of it is all about. Frontier forever. It's like, our rush across the states was a really unique point in time, but also it's going to repeat itself. It's not a pattern that, I mean, it's part of a pattern. It's not a completely unique event. It was very impactful on us. It really shaped everything about the way the world works now. It's a fucking crazy event, but it is going to repeat itself sometime. And so what happens when the space is the final frontier? That's what that show is all about. And it makes, a really good Western TV show. Star Trek is a Western TV show. So actually,
Stop it. No,
why didn't I
it's
say?
not. Stop
Yes,
it.
it fucking is.
Stop it.
Especially TNG. TNG is a very traditional Western. Every episode works just like.
Name me a single Western that fucking took place on a pleasure cruise.
Okay, yeah, no, that's not the
I
important.
look, I love,
The
by the way, I
motif is
love
not an
TNG.
important
I
part.
absolutely love
Yeah, it's
TNG,
the best one.
but it's like, we
It's the
could
best one.
we could debate that. Sir, we could debate that for a
I think
long
we
time.
have.
Um, but like I by the way, I'm so excited. I didn't watch last week because I was out in fucking Colorado. I get to watch 2 episodes of Picard today, and I'm blown away, dude.
Back to back.
Back to back, yeah, I'm so fucking excited. I can't like, and just like the other day, I was reading an article, and LeVar Burton's daughter is playing Geordie LaForge's daughter, which is fucking awesome. Like I
Yeah,
have nothing to do with that, but that's fucking cool. Like
her tweet was pretty good. She's like, I just saw my screenshot of myself standing next to my dad in uniform. That's pretty good.
that's so fucking cool. Yeah. So where was I going with this? No, I like your shit because the elements of it, right? The fucking the dusty fucking wide shots, which that's the other thing, right? A lot of the shit in your, even in the book, like you can visualize it so clearly. Like it's like the description is so good. And I'll be honest with you, that's not always true in very many books. Like I've listened to and I've read a bunch of different stuff. prose wise, and it's not always like what you're reading you can like picture. Like I'm a person who could picture shit. I remember reading, I've only read literally like 6 chapters of Harry Potter ever, but I read six, and my mom, like, this, my mom bought it for me when I was like 17,
They're not
which was
bad.
like the wrong fucking time to buy me a book, because I was not reading shit then. I read 6 chapters, never picked up another fucking page of it. But I like the way it was written. I When I saw him cast, I was like, yeah, that's exactly who I pictured.
That's Harry.
Because it was a Chamber of Secrets, I think it was. And when they showed that scene where he's dreaming and he like he's like the little snake and he fucking sees what Voldemort, like the Voldemort talking to his like henchman guy. When they showed that opening sequence, I was like, that's literally how I fucking imagined it in my head. So like that kind of shit is rare, where the description is so good where I can actually like get a really good image. And your shit is, it just really is, honestly. Like I don't want to, I'm not trying to blow smoke here. I just really like your shit.
I
So
appreciate it.
like like seeing her like riding through the fucking desert, like that to me is like hella Western, but it's like it also gives me that sci-fi kick because that fucking bike. Also,
Bike tank.
let's also calling it the fucking trench coat.
Long coat. Long
Long
coat.
coat, long coat, long coat. My bad.
Thank you.
Calling it the long
I
coat. What a fucking cool name for something that's so ridiculous. Like,
well, it's your outermost layer when you're riding on that horse. You got your armor on as your long coat. Fucking chilling out there in the desert.
I'm saying the little stuff's there. I was gonna say that's the other Western I've seen, City Slickers.
That's I like Randy Quaid too. Oh no, that's not Randy. Is that
No, thank God no.
who's
Randy
who's
Quaid's
the
a
guy?
crazy man.
Yeah,
It's
he's a cool crazy guy.
isn't it Steve Martin in them? Isn't it that whole squad? It was basically not Steve, but the other guy from the Three Amigos,
That's Steve Martin. Yeah,
which also the Three Amigos, a fantastic movie.
yeah, that's a good western.
Um, I was just thinking about this the other day for some reason. I think my wife asked me about it. Um, I almost remember. I've only seen it. I mean, I saw it maybe probably twice or 3 times when I was younger, but I haven't seen it probably in 25 years. I almost remember that fucking the like wherever the fucking final speech, their like write-off speech. I almost remember it. And I need to watch it again to fucking remember it. What is
Who,
his
who,
goddamn name? Martin Short.
Billy Crystal, and Martin Short.
Martin Short. Martin Short is in
City Slickers.
City Slickers. Yes. Right.
I really don't think
Oh
that's it.
yeah, Chevy fucking Chase was in that.
Chevy Chase and Billy Crystal.
Chevy
Is
Chase
that
was
right?
no Chevy Chase and Martin Short and Steve Martin. That's
No, City Slickers.
no Three Musketeers.
Three amigos.
Three. God damn it.
Yeah, I knew that one. No, who's in City
Uh,
Slickers though? It's Billy Crystal and somebody.
City Slickers. Billy Crystal. Oh, it is Billy Crystal. God damn it.
Who's the other one though?
Daniel Stern and Bruno
It's
Kirby.
Daniel Stern. I thought it was Randy Quaid for some reason. Daniel Stern is a good one though.
You know what's funny though? He does kind of. He looks like a younger.
They have similar voices too. They sound like fucking animals.
Fucking Randy Quaid, man. What a nut job.
Yeah.
That like it's always very disheartening just when you see people who like you liked and shit just take a fucking nosedive. Like
I really appreciate it too because like my favorite Randy Quaid character is Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation movies, from all the vacation movies, whatever. And
bro,
he's just like he became that character in real life, and it just makes me so happy. Like I'm
I
glad that Eddie exists, Cousin Eddie.
I have seen I haven't seen that movie on purpose for like several years.
He's in 2 of them. I can't remember which 2, but it's
Well,
Christmas.
he did a
It's
he did
definitely
a
Christmas.
well he did Christmas Vacation too. He did the like
I think he's in.
like
Rick
it's
Quaid is in both. I thought
yeah
he was off the rocker by then. Nice.
but no he was the only one in that. Chevy Chase wasn't in it at all. Like it was just like his
Oh,
Christmas Vacation 2 was like his spinoff.
I didn't see that. That's funny.
But
Cousin Eddie.
I wanted to watch I want to watch that all the time, but the first time I saw that movie in full, when he slides down the fucking mountain, I died laughing.
Yeah.
I laughed probably for half an hour. And I want to experience that again. Because like there's something to be said about like a true pure fucking laugh that from something that just fucking hits you out of nowhere, is delivered perfectly. Like there is a Kanye fucking bar. Fucking stupid. It's a stupid bar, but it's funny as shit. It was on a DJ Khaled song. Is it Grinded? Maybe it's on Grinded. Regardless, he does this, his whole verse, which is fine, whatever. But his last fucking line is, I'm gonna tell y'all like George Bush told me, fuck y'all, I'm out of here. And I laughed forever, dude. That, because it was like the first time I was watching a music video, so you see his face when he says it. I lost my shit. I was like, that's fucking hilarious. Like, fucking, like, and then it was like all the layers of it. The fucking George Bush, always going back to his like freak out on TV about George Bush. Like, man, that shit was so good. Like, when something hits that hard, you gotta love it. Like the fucking, I just saw You People,
Immortalized.
You People, decent movie, some funny parts, but I don't remember what it was, which makes me kind of want to watch it again to see if I could recreate it. But there was a moment something fucking hit perfectly, because I almost fucking passed out laughing. Legitimately almost passed out laughing. And I don't remember what the fucking moment was. I don't remember what the joke was, because now that I have hindsight, all I can think about is the fact that Jonah Hill could not act with her. His scenes with Eddie Murphy, great, like solid, really good. His scenes with his like best friend character, really solid, really good. Scenes with the fucking romantic interest in the movie. I found out that I guess like she was like her fiance was like a good friend of his, and he died, and so he couldn't, like, you know, they just, so, and that's why they didn't kiss at the end. They CG'd the fucking kiss.
Cute. Had a look.
I didn't catch it at first, but when I rewatched it, I was like, oh no, that's for sure CG. Like, because when I first heard about it, I was like, they wouldn't have CG'd a kiss. What a ridiculous concept. And then I replay the ending, and I was like, no, that's for sure CG. Like, they just kind of blend together when they get close. Because I watched Andrew Schultz podcast, and he was there. He was in the movie. So he's like, so I'm sitting there, you know, and they're filming, and they like lean in, but then they stop like this far apart. And he's like, so I'm thinking they're gonna cut to black. And then you see the movie, and they're like, they fucking CG'd him closer. And I was like, that's fucking crazy. But like, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. But also, like, it was kind of a shame to like do a whole movie. Like, I would have just recast him or her. Like, I don't know. It could have been better if they had better chemistry. But just like every
I was
time
gonna say, how far into the process were they when they figured it out that they hate each other?
I don't know. I mean, this is stuff I heard after the fact. So it was just like,
Yeah.
it's like I watched it and I was like, every scene with her, except the first one, which is like their meeting, their like first date. Everything after that, it's like the flat. And I was like, I know he could act better than this. Like, I know he can. And then you see him in a different scene. I'm like, he's doing good here. What the what's the difference? And then when I found out about that, I was like, that sucks, but still, like, it's your job, man. Like, do the fucking job. Like, she did a great job, but he couldn't do it. He wasn't present. Anyway, regardless, holy shit, that's for a different podcast. That's for tangents. Back to the mission here. The first thing I messaged you about. So now when I first saw the Gorillians in Regenesis, I was like, oh, these are like scientifically made, like it's the future, you know, scientists were fucking around, they shot these out of test tubes. And then I'm listening to your book, and it describes that the progenitors were messed with scientifically to increase their intelligence, but then they just fucked. And his mom is a lion and his dad is a gorilla.
Well, that
and I
that
had to
cross
and I had to fucking wrap my head around that. And I was real mad at you for that.
Well, it makes sense now though, doesn't it? They had
How?
to, because the ability to crossbreed is the most important part of their genetic. Well, there's two most important parts of their genetic engineering: their brains and their ability to reproduce with other species. There's all sorts of weird mixed species down there, and it's part of this. You know, the whole point of the embargo is to preserve natural
Natural
order.
order.
And to go back actually a little bit to talking about the video game culture and how they're the reason that they, as a reader, excuse me, the reason that I made you as a reader not really be able to see that is because everybody in this story is buying the government's bullshit. They're all under this umbrella, and that's what the title is, Under the Shadow of the Plateau. It's like this embargo has trapped everybody. It's very stagnant. There's not it's not doing what their mission is. The mission is to get natural order, but really everybody's trapped in their roles. If you're born a poacher, you're a poacher. If you're born a laborer, you're born a laborer. Everyone has their fucking jobs, and the animal's job has really just been to go out and fuck. And it's really it's happening for the wrong reasons. They talk about it in one of the board meetings, how like it's the corporate interests have made these species into a thing, and it's not really going for natural order, but like it's branding and marketing, and it's they want to make all these crazy things that seem cool and look cool, but it's really it's 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 money is taking over what their real mission is.
Right.
So these animals, they can breed and they can make anything, but it's the product of engineering, not natural order.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, as soon as oh my god, I'm just fucking my
The
brain is
Marshall
no, the fucking twin.
Rhodes.
Rhodes. As soon as Rhodes walks in and he could just talk to him, I was like, oh, I thought we were getting like a inside perspective into their culture because they can speak to one another, right? The animals can all speak to each other. That makes perfect sense.
Hmm.
And then Rhodes walks in and he's just chit chatting with him. I was like, oh, he just speaks the language. I was like, I mean, I can maybe Rhodes like has some sort of, but I was like, no, they all speak the same language. Like, because I was
They
at
are
first I was trying to justify it with like he's got some sort of ability to like speak to the animals innately. Nah,
nope.
nah.
They are talking out loud.
Wow. That was crazy. And I was like, okay, so like they taught him English, higher reasoning, but still animals? Like,
They're all born with the ability to talk. They don't
see
have
that.
to teach it. They don't have to teach it to each other or
Oh,
anything.
that's cool. Okay. See
It's
that
all it's
it's
all
interesting.
genetic.
So it's interesting. I was actually having this conversation. I feel like you would be a good person to have a conversation with this about. I was having this conversation with my cousin this past weekend specifically because we got into conversation about um various fantasy races, and I made the point that if you are creating a fiction story with different races of creatures,
Mhm.
and I think I mean it more in the sense of different races of humanoids. Um, you are building in racism, some form of you're building into your narrative some form of racism
For you,
because
for your narrative or their psyche, the characters. The
uh just in general, like the narrative that you're because like by creating
Yeah,
different different but similar races, like no one's like there are no humans racist against fucking chimpanzees, you know what I'm saying? Like
absolutely.
it's like but like different skin color people lose their fucking mind. Like
Well,
and
I've had that conversation with my buddy all the time. It's like, racism really doesn't racism is ethnicity prejudice. It's not really about race. The
right, yeah,
first
the
the first
the
time we meet an alien and we hate an alien, then we'll have the first racist.
yeah, I mean like yeah, I'm a firm believer in the one race, one people, one world. Like the white man's invention of the modern of the term race as it is
Yeah,
understood in the modern
exactly.
day, uh that's what I'm talking about. Like I'm talking about like if you as a writer create a human like human shaped creature, whether it's fantasy, whether it's sci-fi,
You'll be discussing race.
and it has higher reasoning and it is not some sort of gelatinous fucking thing or some sort of mimic or whatever. Like it was born, like created and evolved in our shape. you're inherently giving it higher reasoning. So to make it like ultra, like inherently ultra violent, brutal, things like that, uh like that is racism, because that's what we have with the orcs and shit that
hundred
Tolkien
percent.
created. Like Tolkien created all these various races based on real groups of people, and his racism fucking shone through.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I was saying. Like, if you do that in the modern day, as a creator, and you create a race that is inherently like hyper violent, or what, like
Yeah.
something that is like by nature that's who they are.
Any negative trait. Yeah.
Yeah, really any negative trait, like you're creating racism because of that, because like you're presenting racism because you're saying that even though they are in many ways like us, shaped, and like, again, it's the same but different bullshit. Like, oh yeah, it looks like the fucking, I mean, the Klingons are a classic example of racism. Like, they were created to be like the angry aliens, and the fact that they all end up being uh originally Asian but then black, uh it very much like goes to push that narrative forward. Like,
I
their
think
whole
Star Trek.
race is like really violent, and I think TNG like try to expand that, like, oh, we have these traits of honor, and like there's more complexity to it, but just like initially they were just the angry ones.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that even the part of Klingon culture that persists to be like, they're very angry. I think Star Trek is the perfect example to talk about, how displaying different species uh, is a mechanism to express the racism that we experience in our lives. Um, I think that like the really the lessons that you can learn from Klingons, you can also learn from the way that they portray Vulcans and Romulans. Like it's a it's a commentary. It's not so much. I think they do a really good job of displaying diverse commentary so that the characters are not just one note. You're looking at what a civilization might be. We're not trying to do a perfect metaphor for race relations here on Earth. What we're trying to
Sure,
do is
sure.
trying to create these fantasy things, and if you can't say that there is no species that's going to be raised to like be violent. That totally could happen. So you're not racist for saying that that could
Sure,
exist.
sure, sure.
But
No, no,
what you do,
raised,
what you do,
raised,
yeah,
yes, but to say that it's like biological, that like a species is just like that's. But then, like, I, as a
no,
reader, I need reason. Like, why is it that way? Like, why are they inherent?
yes,
It's like,
I
as a
see.
reader, I need more reason. You can't just be like, oh, that's just how they are. That, like,
Well,
if it's like a dismissive, very negative trait, I don't know. It just feels like it's motivated a certain way. Like,
it can definitely like if you look at old sci-fi, there's a lot of really blatantly racist sci-fi where it is
of
just
course,
they're really what they're doing is they're copying Western movies that are just like red man bad. It's really those are the
right.
bad guys, and we don't need an explanation. But like you can't say you can't have it just be like, oh, it's biological, because that's the perfect explanation for Alien. Like that's like this is
Right, but
just the genetic fucking killer. Is
right,
it
and
racist?
that's
Yeah, I mean, yes, but are we using it in a story that is somehow disparaging to a race of people? No.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
Aliens.
I think that's the difference there, is they are not, while they have humanoid traits, but that's due to
Oh,
due to
if they were
selective breed.
humanoid, it
I'm
would be a
saying
problem.
like humanoid, because like if
Mm,
they look like if they're similar to humans in shape, it is sound, like it's not a far jump to be like, oh well, their brains are similar to ours. And even if they're like, because the whole thing, like in science, if the environment is similar, the bio, like the flora and fauna is going to be similar. So
yeah,
like, if you go to a planet and you can breathe there, and there is another species of humanoid type people, they're going to be similar to us in more ways than they are different.
100%.
Like, that's why
Hun-
like the Predators is a cultural thing. Like, he brought up the Predators, and I thought that was a great example. But the Predators is a cultural thing, because we've seen them basically like outcast someone because they weren't a good enough hunter. Like, they've built a society around hunting, And yeah, like brutally, but like
Who brought up Predator? Because that's a much more complex example. Because like Predator having dreadlocks is a very strong link to real racist stuff here on Earth. Like that one is a much more nuanced example. It's harder to say where the racism starts and ends. And I think you and I were talking during
interesting.
that whole uh uh backlash around Prey. Like there were a lot of committed racists who like really love the Predator franchise. They love racism and they love Predator, and the movie Prey upset the shit out of them. Having a girl kill a predator would be terrible.
But that wasn't even the first time they did that in AVP.
Yeah, I don't know why they. It's like
They, you
I
know
think
what they
it's
find, you know what it is they finally got
she's
the
not
internet
white.
out. They got the internet out in the sticks finally, and now they're on the internet.
I think that's probably what it is. It's unfortunate either way. Okay, but back to um racism from our like the link where we started that conversation. I was going to say in my series, everybody speaks the same language. And actually, that's not where to start. In sci-fi, we absolutely put a bunch of racists into it by making so many humanoid characters.
Sure.
We are putting tons and tons of our racism into the way, like just sub we can't help it. Having everybody speak the same language and having everybody be humanoid. Like it really, you can explain it in a lot of different ways, whether it's a universal uh, uh, communicator. What you're doing is really just not being super imaginative in terms of what it would be really like if we had a whole bunch of, because like we might not even not everyone is going to be even using sound to communicate. There are going to be species that do not use sound. We're making a lot of presumptions no matter what. In my sci-fi universe, it's very intentionally a uniculture. Everybody in the universe speaks the same language at this point. The animals speak, it's called common, and it's just everybody speaks it because the universe has been homogenized through millions and millions of years.
Right.
Everybody has just been there for so long that every natural dialect has just consolidated into one. You don't have any other options anymore. You want to go learn ancient languages, go for it, but everybody speaks common.
Right. And that makes perfect sense. That's actually uh the language thing is part of what I thought was so incredible about was it season, I think it was season 4 of Discovery. Um
Mm.
Spoiler alert for those who haven't seen it. The whole thing hinges on them essentially learning an entirely new method of communication.
Telekinetic, what is it?
No. It's light based.
Cool.
So like it's light patterns and having to fit like, and I mean like the fate of the Alpha Quadrant hangs in the balance of like them learning a new language in 30 minutes kind of shit. Like
It,
which was like it was such a great throwback concept to like old school Star Trek, to just like, this is a science problem, we need a science solution. It wasn't
I
just like
love that.
we need to shoot lasers at it enough and we'll be fine. It was very much like, we could shoot all the lasers at our disposal across the entire galaxy and it wouldn't fucking make a difference. This is a science problem, we have to science it away. Like, it was
Did
so
they say
fucking good.
did they say how the light language evolved? Was it a terrestrial species or is this an interterrestrial
This
communication?
is a extra galactic species.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's such a good season in fucking TV in general. Like, everything from like, it's like this basically massive fucking black hole, like roving black hole happens, and it just like destroys whole sectors of space, and it kills one of the main characters' planet, and they go on like a dark path in the story, and like, watch it, just watch it. Great fucking season of
I would
TV.
like to.
Like, Discovery is very very much like rebuilding my faith that we can move forward in the Star Trek like universe without just being like, oh, let's do like, we're on 3 seasons of Picard, so now we've got 10 seasons of fucking Next Generation effectively. Like 10, like 9.5 seasons of Next Generation and like 7.5 seasons of Voyager, because some of the things in Picard are very much like leftovers from Voyager. So it's like,
Mm.
it's we don't have to hang out in this, 100-year period to have good stories. We can go forward. And they
Get
just
some new
said,
shit.
fuck that. And like after season 2, they just sent them 900 years into the future. All of it's gone. All the fucking support system. It very much like once we got into the future, I was like, Voyager territory. This is my shit. Like, I like the idea of like, this is a concept that, this is a person or a group that has this huge ecosystem, and they're very safe and very comfortable and very capable in that environment. And then you just say,
That's not.
now you go
Yeah,
over here.
that's not the frontier. That's not the frontier. You gotta go out to the frontier.
There you go. That's another 7. That's 7 years. Voyager is all about the frontier. Is all about the frontier of the Delta Quadrant.
You really are going to lose the argument about whether or not Star Trek is a Western. Star Trek is a very
Listen,
classic
sir,
Western.
I'm not saying it's that it doesn't have elements of Western, but it is not itself a Western. Western, there's not nearly enough hats for there to be
It,
for it to be a Western.
if it makes you feel more comfortable to say Western in space, I can do that, but it's still a Western.
But
It's a
like,
Western in space.
but see, I would say Firefly is way more a Western in space
Yeah. Well,
than
they
Star
pick up
Trek
the
is.
aesthetic. They pick up aesthetic too. But yeah, they're both. It's a similar model. the old Western TV shows, what they would do is you have the protagonist and his sidekick ride out into a new town, find a new adventure, solve it, and then go on to a new town. It's fucking Star Trek. I'm here going on my spaceship with my team, going into a new town,
So are you
fucking
telling
some
me?
shit up,
Are you
going on to
telling
the
me
new
that I'm a
episode.
lifelong Western fan, not a
You've
lifelong
you've
sci-fi
been
fan?
you've been loving westerns at the same time. That's the thing; they're not exclusive. They're absolutely
Oh no,
inclusive.
I appreciate a good blending of genres. I just, for me, maybe it's the aesthetic then. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's the thing that
He
doesn't
did
like
he
inherently
didn't
draw me in.
he didn't call it the final frontier for no reason. That's not an accident. He knew what he was doing.
Oh, he
Gene.
definitely knew what he was doing. There's no question about that. There is no
He like
question about that.
he liked westerns. He liked
He
Western TV shows specifically.
Fair enough. But see,
Yeah.
again, like Star Wars, again, maybe it's this more of the aesthetic of the gunslingers. Uh, yeah, the aesthetic is more there in Star Wars, which is why it feels more
Mm-hmm.
westerny. Interesting. And
I
look,
mean
I'll give it
that
to you. I'll give it to you. Star Trek
George
has.
George George Lucas credits the radio serials more than the westerns, but you can see they're both there. They're both there.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, I think one of the best episodes of television, or at least one of the best fight scenes ever in television history, is Mando. Was it season 2? Yeah, Mando season 2, where it's him and Ahsoka versus whoever the hell they were fighting, and one fight was a samurai fight, the other fight was a cowboy fucking fight. Love that shit, because I was like, this is the microcosm of Star Wars.
Yeah,
This
that's what Star Wars
episode
wanted.
is Star Wars.
That's fair.
Like, I was like, this is fucking fantastic. But that's the thing, like, old school, like samurai film as well, ironically, is very Western in that sense. Like,
Yeah.
It does have similar, like, going from town to town, new adventures, that kind of thing. Like, it's very similar. That's fucking very interesting. Very interesting.
Visually that was George Lucas's biggest inspiration is Akira Kurosawa's Hidden Fortress. It's like he's got so much imagery straight from it. It's really good.
Which makes it all the more entertaining and hilarious when the fucking hardcore fanboys were like, what is this Star Trek Visions thing? Why are they jamming Japanese culture into Star Wars? And even I, who I have been gate kept out of being a Star Wars fan, so I am just a guy who enjoys Star Wars here and there. Even I was like, y'all don't get it, do you? Y'all just haven't been watching. Like,
look at Darth Vader's helmet. You don't see it? Look at Darth Vader once.
It's
like goddamn samurai.
Like, oh, they have sword fights. This isn't hard.
Yeah. They're fighting with fucking katanas.
They have sword fights in giant flowing robes. not really a reach, is it? Like, but
yeah, the fandom's for everybody. I don't know. People are dumb. People are crazy.
That's the thing. When people get too involved in the fandom itself, and it becomes more about like validating their perception and their experience with the fandom than it is to enjoying the whole thing. That is when the whole thing falls apart, and that's where you get hardcore fans. And true fans. I think that was the first episode I did of the fucking podcast. It's just like let motherfuckers enjoy the shit they like the way they
Yeah.
like it. Like there have been many scenarios where I have been like, oh, that's not what I see, but I'm like, but who the fuck cares? Like this person
Yeah.
enjoys their shit. Like let them enjoy it. Who
There's
fucking
no
cares?
reason to fight about it.
Like there's absolutely no reason. Like I like to challenge people for the funsies. Like sometimes I'll have a little bit of a fun time with people. But other than that, like I am
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'll debate and I'll talk mad shit. I'll say shit sucks, but at the same time, I respect your opinion. I'm not trying to tell you not to like it. Go for it.
right. Exactly. Like I don't know, man. There's so much. Like I'm not a Snyder bro, but like I didn't particularly like the tone of that universe. That's not what I wanted out of it.
Yeah,
There are people who
fair.
enjoy the shit out of it.
Yeah, they're total diehards.
It's all valid because if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. If you don't, you don't. Move on. Like no one has to be convinced. They're gonna make more shit. like my favorite Batman movie is Batman Forever. No one's gonna talk me out of that. Is it the best Batman movie? Absolutely not. But it is my favorite Batman, and that's the
Really
only
good.
thing that matters to me. like beyond that, it doesn't. None of it matters.
It's a good movie.
Although the promise of there being another Batman in Flash is very interesting because like who could it be? I would love for them to strap Val Kilmer into like just a chair. He doesn't even have to fucking be in a suit. Just a chair, like whoa, fucking fell. Just a chair and the fucking logo hits. And he turns around.
I don't know how long Val's gonna last. He's not looking good.
But his condition is to do with his throat, right? I thought it was the whole thing he can speak.
He had he had his voice box removed, I think.
Yeah.
Throat cancer.
That sucks.
Yeah. Sucks. But he's got I think he's still got a cancer. I think that they would probably not do it because they can't afford to lose him. Like he's gonna die.
Damn. Too many good ones fucking going, man. Too many good ones fucking going. Last year was a fucking killer. 2022 was like, oh, COVID deaths are down. Don't worry, I'll step in. Just fucking checking out all the fucking greats. Like Jesus.
Yeah. We're getting old as part of it. We gotta start following some younger people.
Right? We gotta start liking some of these young cats, some of these young artists and young creators. So to swing back to your book, really fucking good, man. I really enjoyed it. I think everyone should read it and listen to it. It's on Audible, it's on Kindle, it's on physical through Amazon. Yeah, get it and read it. It's a fantastic fucking read. And now I'm honestly even more psyched to go. I didn't want to read more Regenesis until after we talked. Just because I wanted to shit talk you before I got more into the universe.
you're gonna want to do another episode because issue 3 is fucking crazy good, and issue 4 is really good too. Here's
the thing. Okay, so it's close. It's one of two things, right? So it's
yeah. What do you think it is?
3, it's issue 3. So you said it's gonna be 6 issues, right?
Yeah.
So
pretty sure I can do it all in 6. I'm actually just doing the edits like tomorrow, hopefully.
So it
I
can't
keep it at 6.
So it can't be the Crater. It's not that. That's going to be your climax in issue 6 for sure. But this is, I'm thinking, the tavern scene where she busts in, arm gushing, and she's like, "You fucking cost me my arm."
Not quite.
Really?
It's a little later.
Later.
It's a little later.
That hasn't already happened, has it?
No, it happens in Regenesis, but not yet. Not issue 3.
So what's before that? I mean, is it the act of it getting ripped off? The fight?
No, that's in the comics. That's a little later. Not yet. Not yet.
What the fuck could it be? I'm so now I'm even more curious. God damn it.
It's something that happened, but it does not allude to it at all. Like there's nobody talking about it. Nobody's told a story about it. It's something you really have. It's something that you want to see. It's something that you don't know that like you want to see because you've never imagined it, but you know it happened. It gets.
Dude,
just read it. You got the PDF on your fucking computer.
I do. Absolutely. Oh man.
You're
Oh
gonna
my
like it.
god.
You're gonna
I'm
like it.
so excited. I'm so excited. We gotta do you gotta do a hat, and
I was looking
I
at
need
that.
a leather bound hardcover of Regenesis. Like I need it. This whole we also need to like maybe do a leather bound version of fucking Tomorrow's Yesterday. I want a whole set of leather bound books.
So I finished the script for. I was gonna have other writers on board for Tomorrow's Yesterday too, and I ended up just writing the whole thing the other day. It's done.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna get other writers on 3 instead because there's a little more setup to make them all start to flow. I needed to put a little more effort into them just so the next writer can do their thing.
Talk to your boy.
You should absolutely do one of them. It's gonna be fun. I
Dude.
love it's gonna be I spent way too much time doing number one. Like anthologies are hard, but I'm gonna
Oh, I
try to
bet.
crank it out. I'm gonna crank it out so this one goes a little faster.
Dang, I'm excited about that. See, now I gotta catch up. I gotta catch up. It's man,
You you
it's a
gotta
really
read you gotta read all that.
it's a really fun universe. That's the thing. It's a really fun universe. There's all these little things that add to the experience. And like I really didn't think I was gonna give a shit about this fucking Gorillion when I first saw Regenesis. But like, but like I'm
So it
worried about
made
his mental fucking health at this by the end of the book. Like I'm worried about his mental health. They're like, this is a
he's a
fucking fantasy creature, and I'm worried about
he's a
his
good
mental health.
guy. So you were able to worry about him even though you didn't understand how they talked to each other. You didn't
No,
pick
no.
up
I
the
just,
same
but like
connection, or you
when
just bought it.
Rhodes walked in, I was like, oh, okay. He I tried to, like I said, I tried to like kind of logic it away, but then like after a couple pages, after a couple whatever minutes, um, I just kind of accepted. Like
Yeah,
speak the language, they speak the same language because then later, Lincoln talked to other people too, so it was like fuck it.
yeah.
Like it was
No,
just kind of, like I just kind of accepted it. Like it was just like they all speak the same language. I didn't really at that point. I didn't really like think much more into it. It very like at first I thought it was. I think I don't know if I talked to you about this before, but like I really like in movies when it's like, um, they start, like they start the scene, it's a wide shot and they're talking in whatever Japanese, and then they zoom in and they zoom in on the people's mouths, and then as the audience you understand now we're listening in Japanese, and then it
yeah.
switches to English, and that's what I felt like at first. That's what I thought was happening when the animals were talking, and then when Rhodes came in, I like tried to like logic it away, and then after a while I was just like, nah, they just all speak the same language.
Yep, they all speak the same language. Book two gets in book two, um, Lincoln gets to interact with a lot of humans. He goes to several human establishments that I won't spoil for you, but he the science fiction language thing gets expanded on a lot, and there's a lot of racism.
Oh
People
boy.
call people call animals the manimals. He doesn't like that. He doesn't like being called a manimal.
I would imagine not. Speaking of not Brennan,
Yeah.
wild fucking left turn. I really, every time he was brought up in like historical reference, I was like, are we ever gonna see this motherfucker? I was like, my first concern was like, is this dude just like another Brennan who is just like gently motivated into a different direction? So he thinks he's still doing the right thing, but he's just doing the wrong shit.
No,
And
she
then
told him.
he fucking comes in and he's like, "Yeah, bitches, I'm the fucking bad guy." And I was like, "Oh shit!"
The matron definitely sent him that memo. She's like, "Hey, by the way, you're the bad guy."
Like and like he bought all the way into it. He was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm the bad guy. I'm playing this." He's like dark trench coat. I'm in. Like, really, like I wasn't expecting him to show up, but then when they woke up and they saw him, I was like, "Oh fuck!"
Yep. Harsh transition.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think was going to happen when they went into that tunnel?
Well, something bad. I really wasn't
You
sure
knew it
what.
was bad.
Yeah, I knew it
Yeah.
was gonna be bad because I'm like, they're getting to this thing, it's automated. I'm like, no way this ends well for them. Like they
Hmm.
like because like my thought was, even if the whole ride there is uneventful,
Where are you going to show up?
you're parking in the den of the fucking wolves. Like
You are literally taking the train to hell.
you're like, I was like, there's just no way this doesn't like escalate really fucking poorly.
Hmm.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was really interesting. Like, man, so many good things, so many good like standout scenes. Like so, like there's a lot of there's a lot of books that just kind of like drag you along. This felt like I said, it's very cinematic. Like the way you write is very cinematic, and the whole thing happening, like the fucking when she fucking goes in and wipes out the entire fucking bar. I like my eyes, I was like, oh shit. Cause it just like I'm just seeing it. And it's like pa, 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 pa. And I was like, wow, that's
I love
fucking
that scene.
cold. And then she sits down and she's like, tell me some more shit. Like nothing just happened. I was like, oh my god, it's the coldest bitch ever.
Could you feel her rage ramping up beforehand though?
Oh
She
yeah.
wanted to kill him so
Oh yeah.
bad.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like it was very much
I can't
like
hold it anymore.
it was so crazy, the like balance of the rage that like everyone is breaking the rules and like I must fucking correct this, and like maybe I don't know the whole story, let's figure this out.
All right. I gotta throw one more cog in your machine here. When we go back, excuse me.
Don't die on me.
When we go back to um you being sure that the matron is bad. And
It's gonna
when I
take a
was
lot for me to not believe that, man.
when I'm begging you to say, what makes you think like is the marshal good?
No, I don't think the Marshals. I mean, like
Because
obviously she's programmed to be a werebeing, right? So she's not programmed. She is a werebeing, but like,
well, she's not. Well, I
well, she
mean,
transforms into one,
exactly.
or she
She
can
has the
transform.
potential. She has a bunch of the materials. She hasn't got the whole thing.
Okay,
She couldn't
okay,
do it alone.
but you're right. Here's the thing, right? So it's like a fucking Dragon Ball Z fusion dance. Do they both become the one? Who's the fucking third?
The AI.
Oh.
Womp ba bow. Right?
Oh, you need a trigger. You need a trigger. And if
Well,
she's
it's
biologically
it's
grown, you can't put that in her.
it's two
So
things.
so
It's two things. It's not just the triggers. It's the trigger mechanically, but it's also the AI. The buddy sidekick character
is the
is
fucking like the monster.
the seed. It's the seed for the where being being.
So interesting.
It's got
So
layers, bro.
okay, so who so if Pat so who's
It needs
so
genetic potential from both.
right, genetic potential. So is the first werewolf Pathos the first Marshall and her dislodged AI?
Oh, can I give you that spoiler?
You don't have to. No, if it's like if we're gonna see it in Pregenesis.
I can't. No, I mean it's not truly. You do see it at the end of Genesis, but it's still not super specific.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I'll just
That's
make you
fine.
read it.
That's fine.
I'll just
That's
make you
fine.
read it.
Let it hang in the
The
air while I'll ponder it.
because yeah, you've never. It's been a while since I read the book. Yeah, you don't really see what happens at the second fight, at the third fight, what the last fight, the crater fight. All you see is oh, you do see it.
I mean, he
You
rips
see
off her arm. I remember that.
no the after that I don't want to spoil it for you, but
Not
I
in the
think
book.
in the book you don't see the crater.
Yeah, there was just the
Yeah,
flashback of the
and
arm
and
getting ripped off.
Morton tells about it briefly, but
Yeah,
you don't actually see it. Yeah,
right.
yeah. His recounting of it is almost accurate. He's not. It alludes to him having a faulty memory of it.
Oh,
It's a
I thought he was just bullshitting. I thought it was just him purposefully bullshitting.
it is like he's tooting us like he is yes, but he's also self-soothing. He legitimately has a lot of trauma from it, so a lot of it is him like trying to fool
Oh,
himself.
I see what you're saying. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
he
Exciting.
he like he's a prideful dude, and he really this hurt him. The reason that he gets so mad at the matron is because it hurt him in the way that is like he's most vulnerable. He has built himself up on being like, I live on Earth. I fucking run my own shit in this place where like he sees the corruption. He knows
Right.
exactly what's up. And he's gonna play the game. I'm gonna shoot to win.
Right.
And like she's like, guess what? You're one of my fucking pawns. I'm gonna
Yeah.
stab you
Yeah. Yeah.
directly through the heart.
Yeah, like what he thought he was the king on the board, and he finds out he's a pawn, and
He's less than nobody. She
yeah
fucking made him.
that destroys his entire self-image. It destroys his self-worth. Yeah, I mean, like I felt bad for him in that moment. Well, like when it all finally coalesced in his brain, I was like, ooh, rough, buddy, rough.
So in the movie, the character that he's like half based on from the Once Upon a Time in the West has tuberculosis, and he's like running a rail company trying to build the railroad. He's like fucking all these other people over as he buys the land rights, and he gets killed by his right hand man, his version of Frank, who is like another. He's like a much more evil guy. He's like a little bit of a sociopath, but really he just wants money. But he's like the final the final conversation between them is fucking amazing dialogue, and he's like, you had everything that you needed except for the will to go out and kill people. You're just a fucking pen pusher. And he fucking kills him. It's so great. It's so great.
Wow.
But Morton's like the evolved version of that. He is the pen pusher. He's the one doing the back end hustling, but he also is totally willing to kill. He's got both. He's a murderer.
Yeah. Look, it's a very good fucking book, man. It's a very, very good book. It is just like front to back, man. There's never a time where I'm like, can we move on to the next thing? And that's always like I always gauge books by that. Is at any point am I either fucking lost? Like I right before I read, not right before, but like a couple months earlier, I read or I listened to I always say read it, like it's the same shit to me. I listened to the Chronicles of Amber, the first 5 books. The Princes of Amber, 9 Princes in Amber. Really, really, once you figure out what's going on, which it was very much like I had to fight myself to keep going, because in the first book, you haven't a single fucking clue as a reader, because the person you're following in the story has amnesia, and you are figuring everything out right alongside him. Who can you trust? Who's a good guy? Who's a bad guy? Who's going to try to kill you? What the fuck is going on? Why is the literal landscape changing as you're driving? By the end of the first book, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And like halfway through the second book, I finally like got there. But then by the end of the second book, I'm like, wait, how does all this work? And then like it dragged me along, and I had to like be like, he doesn't remember everything, so you have to fucking stick through it. Like, this is the point. The point is that you don't know because he doesn't know. You're following his whole story. It was just like, but it was tough. Like I had to like convince myself to keep listening, because but I always wanted to read it, because I had back when I collected single issue comics, I had the like volume 2 or whatever, two or three of the issues of from like the second book or the third book. And I really liked it, and I always wanted to collect the whole series. And I remember seeing it in my like Amazon wish list, but they never made the whole series into graphic novels.
Weird.
So I mean, like, it was the 90s, you know, you made shit until it didn't sell, and then you just dropped it. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh, let me see if it's on Audible, and it was. And I hadn't bought anything through my Audible credits in months, so I had fucking like 5 credits, and I was like, fuck it. I just fucking bought all 5 of them and started listening, and I was like, oh boy, did I just fucking waste these credits? Because I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Bummer.
But then I was like, but like that's the point. Let it happen. Whereas with yours, like I said, the only like negative I could say, and that's it's just that performer that just I couldn't.
Fuck.
But no, but listen, this in a weird way, it may actually be a good thing, because
yeah, it means I got you with the story.
When I was listening, I was only listening to that. Like, I was driving and I was listening to that. That's all that was happening. Whereas with other things, I could follow along while I entered orders at work and this other shit. Like, but it just, I don't know, something about his voice. I couldn't like keep listening while I did other things.
I'm still hoping that it's the
Weird.
speed. If we slow him down, I hope that will do it.
I
But
mean, and I also read
thanks for
it.
the
I
feedback.
also read it sped up too. So like I read
I
not
yeah, I do the
everything,
same
but I
thing.
like I read it. I read it at 1.5, and I didn't feel like it was too fast. It just something about the
Something
voice.
about
I
his
don't know.
voice.
It just everyone's got different hear shit differently. Um, so it probably isn't the same for everybody else, but that's just my experience. But like I said, I'm glad because it made me listen to it more intently. While I was listening to it, I was enjoying the whole thing. I was, I don't want to say I was visualizing it because I was driving, but like
I love it. I
but
love
like
it.
it's a great fucking book. It's a great fucking book. This is right here. Since it's my editing copies right here. I have to ask, have you had a chance to read mine?
I oh right. Um, so you telling me so much about the story definitely jaded me in one way, and then me
Okay.
being from DC jaded me in another way. I don't think I finished the whole thing, but
Oh,
you
you're
told me
from
not to give you.
DC?
Yeah,
Oh, so interesting. Dude, I did so much research.
I could tell. I could tell.
I did so much
So
research. I want people who are in Brazil to be like, this motherfucker really knows the spot.
I don't know Brazil. I do know. Yeah, I do know DC, and I think that one of my suggestions was about the location, and I think it was just going to be what island did you choose for their first rendezvous?
It's actually right here. Kingman Lake. It's a little walking trail. It's got a
Yeah,
little
I know it.
pedestal.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, it works. I think at the beginning I was thinking this sounds like a scene that should be at Roosevelt Island, but I think that that's fine. What was my other thing? Oh, you said you didn't want specific feedback, but I would love to give you specific feedback because there are a few pacing like scene transitions
Okay.
that I think like if you smooth those out, I think it's very strong. But that's what I was gonna say. Like you predispositioned me to like it because I already knew what was gonna happen. I knew where it was going, and that kind of guided me like too much. So I wish I had read it before you told me.
Makes
But I
sense.
think I think that's all I that my main thing was that there was like a few transitions that felt like they didn't not the appropriate amount of time passed,
Sure.
but I can show you exactly where those are.
Yeah.
They're super easy fixes.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I thought my sister also was reading it, and she said that I thought I caught them all, but she said that sometimes like my tenses were I'm switching tenses. Like sometimes it was
Oh,
like
I
past
didn't
tense
notice
versus
that.
present tense, and I was like, damn it! I thought like I found like a couple spots, and I was like, I gotta fix this. Does it make sense? Like, is it was or is like which is it? So I had to
I don't
fix that.
think I
So
noticed any of
I
those.
thought I caught them, but no, that's why I went through like page by page. That's why I really wanted to do it because like I took it to an editor first. The funny like this whole story is like the fucking process behind the book is almost as entertaining as the fucking story itself
Oh, I
because it's
hate the process.
you hate the process. I love the
Oh,
process, man.
I just
I
want to
don't love the
write.
process while I'm in it. I don't love the process while I'm in it at all. When I sat down with my friend to edit it the first time, and I heard I just want to fucking rewrite this whole thing and show you how I'd write it. I was like, that's not the fucking point. But geez, like that hurts, bro. Like, and so then I was like, I really need to go to like an editor who isn't also an author. And then I did. I ended up paying for an editor, found her through TikTok. She did a great job, like really directed it. But like between those two, like I changed a ton. Like if you want to read the first version of their meeting, issue one of the Catalyst magazine, because I put all 5 chapters in the book, like kind of raw.
I'm
Uh,
I'm still super surprised. You're saying that you enjoy the process of
love it,
publishing?
love,
What?
love it. That dude, I'm a
Why?
process junkie. I'm a process junkie. I like half
Oh,
that shit over there is sketchbooks. Half of that shit over there is sketchbooks. Like I love
that's
seeing
not.
how
No,
something
that's
gets
writing.
created.
Oh,
It's the same
oh,
thing.
sketchbooks of other people's work.
Yeah, not mine. No, mine are up here.
Fair.
No, but even that, like mine are up here. I've got sketchbooks going back to high school, like sophomore
I
year.
I love the idea process part. I hate the fucking like editing. I hate it. I like
I just think it's
I
interesting.
don't.
Like this, maybe
Hmm.
it'll get worse as I go along. Maybe as I become a better writer, it'll get worse as a process because it'll just be like the little shit. But this literally, like this first chapter and the original first chapter, look nothing alike. His name is different. The entire premise of like the first
I
chapter
mean,
is completely different.
that's a great feeling. Watching your work get better. That's not what I'm talking about. I like watching my work get better, But like even if I was like a really good editor, which I'm not, like if I was really good at going back, I still wouldn't enjoy it because the most frustrating part is like, why am I already wrote this part. I want to write the next part. Why do I have to go back? I have so
Oh,
much more that I need to
I mean,
do.
I mean, the next thing after this is a full-length novel, and I'm dreading that entire process because
Well,
that's just
this
gonna
is
be
the
so
beginning.
much fucking more. That's gonna be so much fucking more shit.
This is the beginning to that, right?
No,
It's gonna go
no,
right
no,
into
no,
it.
no.
It's a prologue.
This is a prologue to the Wolfpack Comics universe.
Oh,
And
the
in fact,
novel's a different series.
the novel is a completely different thing. Yeah, it was like
Oh.
when I finished this is when I had my epiphany. Like when I finished my first draft of this, I had my fucking epiphany, and I was like, holy shit, I can actually like write these stories. But like when I finished that final chapter, my
Mm.
brain suddenly opened up, and it was like, hey, there's all this other shit we've been putting off. And I was like, oh fuck yeah, let's do that. Let's go into this fucking novel. So I started like I've got character sheets now, and I'm like building out these characters. And it's like I've got 3 or 4 chapters already written, but like I'm kind of like going back, like starting the characters all over just so I know them going in, because a lot of it's like how these characters deal with this entire situation. It's a
See
completely
that
unrelated thing.
that part is so enjoyable for me, and I'm not surprised that that's enjoyable for you. I am surprised that you're not a fucking Dungeons and Dragons player because I feel like making the characters in that
I've
setting
played.
would be your jam.
I've played for sure. Like I've played. I don't have the time or the patience to sit there and play all the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's why I like video games, because I can hit pause.
I
But
mean, yeah, I get you, but like the thing you like about this shit is like the thing that you seem to like consistently between comics and movies and all that shit is like the character. Like,
oh yeah,
I think that you would love to fucking play D&D all the time. I think you would.
I probably would, but it's
Probably
like
would.
the game I'm part of, which I made myself an international man of mystery. I'm a human rogue. But like
Mm.
I can just disappear and reappear as needed. Like hey, I got to summon through my crystals. I had to fucking go somewhere else. Like,
The rules for the Frontier Forever tabletop role playing game are coming along. You're going to be able
nice.
to buy a life as a poacher. Go in
No, I'm
and
not gonna be a
be
poacher, man. I can't be a poacher.
your
I've got an identity. I'm a citizen.
your options are very limited. You want to live in New York City? You haven't seen New York City yet.
My options are not limited, sir. I believe I don't know where I put it. Like I have an ID. I'm already a citizen of that world.
No, but that's a yeah. You're a migrant laborer in that one. That one you can be in
Oh,
the game.
rough.
Sorry, bro.
I
You're a
thought
working man.
I thought I had a
You're
little more status. Damn it.
you're not gonna go live in that. No, that's you wouldn't want to live in there anyway. Wait till you see it. It's not what do you think's in the megacities? People are disparaging of city folk. Do you think that's for no reason?
Oh, they're assholes.
Yeah, but what kind of
It's
assholes? And they're
look,
talking
man.
about riots. What did you think about the riots?
I wasn't sure why there were riots, because it's like,
Yeah.
oh, like this information got out, but like if the people in the cities are these like rich entitled assholes, like why do they care? Like why
Yeah,
does any oh, they
suddenly
have
the fire
internet? Like the rich people,
suddenly the firewall goes down and now we have the internet. Why would they be pissed? And what would they do to
but like
riot?
what's there, right? So like that's my other question
Mhm.
is they like they've suddenly got all this access to information, but like do they? Because like what's the internet? Because the internet
Yeah.
now is like pockets of servers providing information, but like what information are they finding? Is there any information? Like, is there an internet? Like, there
So
doesn't seem to be. Like they had to
your
build an internet. They literally had to build an internet for the poachers.
your best yeah, and that's your best window of it. They say that they start picking up all these transmissions and they start ignoring the interterrestrial ones because they're all ancient. It's thing like anything that's been coming through the space is too old to be relevant.
Right.
And so they just start ignoring that shit and then they pick up stuff from the megacities. So what are the megacities saying at a bandwidth that is suddenly being broadcast now that the down of the dampeners are down?
I don't know.
what could
I hadn't
what
thought
could be
about it.
going on there? Why are they fucking rioting? And
Why
what
are
the
they?
fuck?
That's the thing. I don't know. Why are they rioting? I don't
I
understand.
can't tell you that one.
Well, damn
Can't
it.
tell you that one.
Don't tease me.
You got to read more for that one.
But this is
Yeah.
what I was going to tell you. I know you haven't finished it yet, but So I was say the comic, the first volume of the comic, which I wrote years ago, happens between the end of this paragraph and the beginning of this epilogue.
What
Um,
page is that on?
it's the last page. It's the last page.
Oh,
I wrote an epilogue after I finished editing, or after I finished the
so the
first round of
epilogue's for
editing.
the series, not for the prologue.
The epilogue is for the prologue, but like it
The
it
series is in
it
between.
happens so far. It happens 10 years later, a full
Mm-hmm.
decade later. And then it's like from the end of from the end of the fifth chapter to the epilogue, you like there's a couple dots that connect, and you have I feel the way I wrote it is that it leaves you with enough questions to make you want more. And then the first volume of Wolfpack, which I'm pretty sure is still going to be the name of it. I've been like toying around with renaming it, but
Let
the first volume of the comic takes place in that gap.
let me get an editable copy of that before I go back and read the second half, because
Okay,
I will give you some very helpful notes because they're
for sure.
super simple.
Much
They're super
appreciated.
simple.
Much appreciated, sir. Well, I think we're gonna call it here. That was
Yeah,
I
I'm
appreciate
sleepy.
you taking my my frustrations and my and my
Dude, thank you so much for reading it. And like those I love all of your frustrations. I love hearing it because honestly, all of them told me that did a good job. I'm really glad that you weren't bored by the marshal's investigation. I think that that's my biggest fear, is that her process feels boring because she really doesn't do anything aside from the murdering. Aside from the
well, like
murdering, she
well, that's
doesn't
the
do
thing is
shit.
she feels on the but even the stuff that's like that would in theory be boring, like oh she's riding through the desert, and it's like
Yeah, she's just riding through the desert.
right, but it's like the way I'm seeing, like again, the way it's written and the way I'm seeing it is so very cinematic that it's like
Mm.
I'm thinking wide shot, sprawling desert. She's just a single streak riding across, dope music playing. Like when she gets to that communication box, cube, whatever the fuck it is, that the thing from the matron, um, it's like to me it felt like the most ominous thing is it's like fucking sprawling desert, nothing around, fucking communication, container.
And and that is the closest to New York City she will ever be.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm. She was so
That's fair.
close.
That's
She
fair.
had been going there for fucking months.
My question is, and you don't have to answer this because this probably would spoil a lot. Will
Ooh,
there be a third Marshall?
I can't answer that.
There you go.
I can't answer that.
That's fair.
That's that's a question.
Also,
I can tell you that there is not one in book two.
there's not a
You'll be ans-
Marshall.
there's not a there's not a third Marshall.
Oh, okay.
There
That's fair.
the question is asked a lot in book two, but it's not answered. You'll be asking all the way through book two.
So through book two, which it's sounding like you're saying there's going to be a book three. Is this going to be a trilogy of novels? And
I'm trying to keep it to three. The thing is that so book one, which is like 100,000 words, like 97,000 words, used to be like 170,000 words. It was a
holy shit.
much it was a much different narrative. A bunch of parts that are in book two were in book one because I needed to get book one as short as I could so that we could get from the birth of the second Marshal to the crater. That was, I needed to make that thing as small as I could. And that unfortunately means that book two has a lot of content that I need to cover. There's like book two is a beefy baby. It's going to be like 150,000 words, I think. And then the third book, which is like 70 pages of outlines right now, that one's probably going to be just as long. And so I might have to split that into two books. So it might be four. I'm hoping three.
Jeez.
Hoping three.
Jeez. All right. Well then one final question. Okay, so let it hold. A couple final questions. um so let's say four books, and presumably Regenesis is the prequel to
Yeah.
that, and
And
then
that
the Tomorrow's Yesterday trilogy of anthologies, or
that
is there a potential limit to that?
there's no potential limit to that.
Okay, so
That
that's something
one's
that could
that
be
one's like
ongoing.
slot. That one's like Sliders. I always use that as my reference. I love the show Sliders. It's my guilty pleasure. And
That's not a guilty pleasure. That is a fantastic fucking series.
you
And they,
like it?
dude, that is one of my absolute favorite shows of all time.
Nobody likes that
All
show.
fucking time.
I
All
love
time.
Sliders.
All time. When he left, I was mad then, and I'm mad today that
Is that what I was trying to remember what happened to the show because I know they
he
replaced
thought he was going to be a
female
fucking
lead,
movie star, and he left.
Jerry
So
O'Connell.
yeah, Jerry O'Connell thought he was
Yeah.
going to be a movie star. He left. His brother left. So then in the opening of season
Oh,
5, they jump into a port. The brothers from behind, shot from behind, jump into a portal and due to some mysterious thing, merge into one new being who is also Jerry, but not Jerry.
but
Or
them
not
bringing in the brother was part of the collapse. How late in the series did the brother come in? That's like the
Uh,
last season, right?
no. He was there for a
They
couple
did a
seasons.
few. They did a few seasons with him.
Yeah, I think he came in end of second season, early third season.
Oh, that early?
Yeah,
It's
like
5 seasons. How many?
He did at least a full season. Like I'm
Yeah,
sure
I
he
thought
did
it
at
was
least
just
a
the
full
last
season.
season though.
No,
Well, anyway, yeah.
no, the fifth
And
season they changed so many fucking people because like a bunch of people left. So like Wade got boned because Wade
the
left.
girl, right?
Yeah, she left at the end of
Yeah,
4, but then like came back as like a fucking like
she did.
alien sex victim or something.
Well, she got other work,
boned.
right? The first actress actually got other work, and the second one I don't think I saw again.
I don't remember her, so probably not. I don't remember her.
The first actress is what's that girl's name? She's pretty good.
I'm terrible. The only person I remember is John Rhys Davies because John.
I was gonna say who actually got the movie career.
Because he's also like he had a career before. He's had a huge career since. Still weird that he's playing a Middle Eastern man in the new Indiana Jones. Not really sure how that's playing out.
Yeah.
Still strange to me. Or not Middle Eastern, Indian, I think. Anyway, yeah, it's no, that show is fucking fantastic. I mean, like the alternate universe California that fell off America, great episode. The alternate universe where cars are just free to share, like there's nothing's locked, you just fucking use what you need and park it somewhere else. Like that shit's fucking, that was a great episode. Like
I don't know if I remember that. What's the caveat in that one? What's the
I don't remember
I
don't remember the hidden danger in that one. But I just like that concept. I've always liked that.
It's concept. A great format. Great format for a show.
It's I mean the what if concept is so good, and it's like it's absolutely one of my favorite concepts in general. That's why like I'm collecting the entire what if series. I have several of the I think I have the original what if series completely collected, and now they're about to drop the what if for the second series. Exiles is one of my favorite X-Men series because that was universe. It was Sliders. It's just Sliders. It's Exiles. If you like Sliders, read fucking Exiles, dude. It's the same shit. Fucking awesome.
I love Sliders.
It's such a good fucking like that concept is so good because you get to play around. You just like get to just like shift details. What would have happened if this? What would have happened if this? You know, and that's why I thought it was weird when they try to like they did a series not recently, but like recently enough where like the Germans won World War II.
The one based on the Philip K. Dick story. Yeah, what was that called? Man in the High Castle.
Man in the High Castle. Yeah. I was like, yeah, but I already saw that episode of Slider, so I don't really care about that.
Well, that 100% is ripped from PKD. That guy, yeah, that's a good episode. I remember that one.
Like, but there's like so many good episodes. I love the like it was a second episode or whatever where it's just like everything was just a little different. Love that because it's like just different enough to matter. Like he thought he was home, but then he like closed the gate and it didn't fucking squeal, and I was like, oh shit.
I kind of remember that one too, but then there is a big problem at the end because he's about to stay, and then he's very lucky that he learns the secret right before he has to get through the portal.
Yeah, because he's an asshole in that one.
Is that what it is? Is he's a bad person?
He finds himself and he's an asshole. Mm-hmm. Like his evil doppelganger universe.
I love it.
Because he was like, oh shit, we're back. And then I was like, no, we're not. And then there was, I think, was it maybe even the last episode? They like go back home. Well, really, the episode that really breaks my heart to this fucking day is they were in the right universe. They got home. But he did the fucking gate test and it didn't squeal. So he's like, this isn't it. And they left. And his mom comes out with the fucking WD-40. She's like, I'm so glad I fixed that gate. And I was like, no. Like you were there.
Heartbreaker.
Oh, dude. That shit was so fucking that was such a damn, such a good fucking show. I love that show so much. But it's like he left for a fucking movie career and then he was in Kangaroo Jack. Ooh, congratulations, asshole. You ruined my fucking show.
He did do one other one. What was the other one?
So, Joe versus
Jerry
not
Maguire. He was in Jerry Maguire.
who the fuck was he in Jerry Maguire?
One of the football players that he was signing.
That's right, but that's like that. He wasn't
Mhm.
that wasn't gonna make him a star.
No, but that's the only thing I can think of.
Didn't wasn't he in wasn't it Joe's apartment or Jack's apartment or something like that?
Joe's garage.
No, no,
Joe's
no, no.
basement. Joe's apartment. Joe's apartment.
Joe's apartment, something like that. It was like all I remember is the poster was like him and a date, and there was roaches.
Yeah,
Like
there's a Frank Zappa song, Joe's Garage. I think it's Joe's Garage.
maybe I don't remember. All I
I
know is
don't know.
it was it like he had these like little
Oh, I think
roles or small
I
movies, and then like
yeah.
nothing. Yeah, he did some TV later on, but it's like yeah, you still came back to TV, motherfucker. Like you
Why
could
did
have
I
just
think
finished my
that
series.
why did I think that his brother was at the only at the end of that season? I remember hating his brother. Really hated the addition
Dude,
of
he
his
had like
brother
a
character.
weird he had a weird look. He had like a
Was
weird look, and he wasn't a great actor. So like that kind of
in
sucked.
in my mind, them adding him was them trying to phase Jerry out.
No, 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 no. They just added the character. And I really think
I
um
misremember that.
yeah, because I think it was like his because it was weird because it's like they turned out that he wasn't from the world that he thought he was. Like the mom that raised them wasn't his actual biological mom, and it's like they
Hmm.
were split up because the aliens like really wanted to like they were like the fucking key to interdimensional travel or some shit, and the aliens like needed them. It got real fucking convoluted and complicated as the show got on.
Kind of remember that.
Because
Yeah.
it's like you needed, the episodic nature of things has to like it becomes stale unless you introduce some sort of larger overarching plot. Uh
Well, not
and
necessarily. Start TNG does it
yeah, but there's always after season one, there is always an overarching plot because
for the
we are
season.
introduced yeah, per season because we are
Yeah.
introduced to the Borg. Was it early season two? And then it's like, holy shit, like then it was the buildup of like when are we getting to the Borg? Because that was terrifying. And then it was the end of season two or whatever. We got the Lacuta storyline. So like
Yep.
the buildup was there. In the season three, we had the fucking the three or four, they had the invasion, the fucking Starfleet was being invaded by fucking
Yeah, but
parasites and all that shit. Like,
you can do that without going full Stargate though. Stargate is like the real like you don't follow the episodic. I mean, they have episodic episodes, but they're really like
at the
they're the
beginning,
long.
they did for sure at the beginning more.
Yeah,
Because it
exactly.
was because that was the interesting part. The interesting part was let's see how these cultures developed, having been pulled off of Earth and planted somewhere else.
But
Like that was the interesting part.
then they fully invested in the long war, thing, and
Yeah,
I think they lost a lot when they stopped doing the episodic shit.
nah, man, nah. I love me
You're a big
the
gate.
I love Stargate too, man. That's
Mm.
Stargate to me. Was like the real, like almost like a realistic approach to like how things would go. Right,
I mean,
one country would make contact. They'd take all the shit for themselves. The secret would eventually get out. All the other countries
mm,
would get pissed off. Then they got to share the technology. We build our own spaceships, and they would be ugly, like they were on that show. They'd be fucking ugly. Like
I
none of
like
those
that
fucking
too.
ships, none of those ships were pretty. None of them had smooth fucking hulls. No, they just had shit welded on top just so they could stay together.
I love the movie, and I liked this. There are things that I love about the show too, but like my love for it is much more about how it relates to human history, like
Oh yeah.
the like Rob being an intergalactic miner or whatever slave driver, like it really makes sense to me. I love the way that like it
Oh yeah.
interweaves with real history. I love that.
There is a Batman Elseworlds book that you should read. It's called Batman Book of the Dead.
Hmm.
Just based on the sentence you just said, that's the recommendation I'm going to make. But no,
I love Batman.
yeah, no, Stargate, Star Trek, fucking Sliders is so good. I also like, but like anthology storytelling, as you know, is very good too because you can explore different themes and different things in shorter form, like the Outer Limits, like the 90s Outer Limits. Fucking love
Yeah,
that
it's a
shit. When
fantastic show.
Stargate bit an entire episode off the Outer Limits, and I could not. I've watched that episode probably 3 or 4 times. I can never watch that episode without being like, "Why'd y'all steal this fucking idea?" This is the entire fucking plot of this episode of the Outer Limits.
Well, it's probably stolen from literature anyway. Which one?
It was, they found a like a group, or a culture of people that had, they were built around some sort of like communal mind, like
Mm,
a free internet, but like everyone was connected. Um,
cool.
and of course, it turned out that there was like a sinister, like, kind of programming behind it. And it was basically like a same episode. Like, there was a very, very similar episode of the Outer Limits that had basically the same plot. And I was like,
I wonder who
just
the
steal
writer for that was. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Harlan Ellison. That's my guess.
that.
Sounds good.
But yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. But it's all very much in the vein. So the anthology series, for Frontier Forever, yesterday's tomorrow's, or
That
tomorrow's
one has
yesterday.
no.
Tomorrow's
That
yesterday.
tomorrow's yesterday. That one has no ending. That one
No
will continue.
ending. So then my final question, which I set up like 10 minutes ago. Uh my final question is, you have this quadrilogy of books. From the available options currently that you are aware of, who do you cast as the Marshal?
Ooh.
Because this ends with a movie deal
Oh God, I would
or a
love that.
series.
So her inspiration is she's the female Clint Eastwood. I don't know. I mean, I really like, I
She's
think
tall
it's
as
got
shit.
I think it's got to be the woman who plays Brienne of Tarth. What's her fucking name?
Who?
And Captain Phasma. What's her
Oh,
name?
I don't know that first one, but Captain
Ah,
Phasma.
yes, you do. She's the Game of Thrones,
I
Brienne
never
of
watched that
Tarth.
show.
The books are fucking fantastic. The show sucks.
Uh, Gwendolyn Christie.
That sounds right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, how tall is she? She's like 6'5", 6'3".
6'3". Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, I think I'd have to go with her just because she's got the build. Yeah, she can
I
do a
can
Clint.
see it. I
She
can
can do
see
it.
it for sure.
She can do a Clint Eastwood.
Dude, I can see it for sure. I see her with some of these shots of the longer blonde hair.
Oh yeah, and you said you liked 310 to Yuma. Did you notice that she's wearing his jacket, the Ben Foster jacket?
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't make that connection.
It's a double-breasted. It's like a Union mock coat. It's pretty cool.
Nice. Nice. See, you thought about all these things. You thought about all these little things.
Well, it's just a combination of all of my favorite shit. I have no problem admitting that I just stole all of my favorite shit and smashed it into one. It's Dune plus Once Upon a Time in the West plus a few other westerns and a bunch of classic sci-fi like Philip K. Dick and Harlan Ellison mindfuck stuff.
Good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Thank you for writing it. Thank you for joining me to discuss it. Uh, when might one expect a book two?
I told myself I wasn't going to be able to finish it before summer. I really hope that I can have it out by Christmas.
Okay,
I
so
hope.
potentially this year. Okay,
Oh yeah, I mean it should be done. It should have been done already. I'm so close, but I have not hired my editor yet, and the editor's going to take like 1 to 2 months, and I'm not ready to send it to them yet.
how many
So
pages?
right now that's the problem is right now it's like pages. It's like 600.
Jesus,
It's like 600 pages right now.
that's like 2 Lord of the Rings books, bro.
No, it's like one Lord of the Rings book. And I mean, so the page count and the word count are a little bit different. And for some reason, my page count on this one is like it's because it's dialogue heavy. There's a lot of dialogue that makes it
Sure.
not as many words, but more pages.
Right.
I think I can probably get it down to like 500 pages, but it's only going to be like 120,000. I hope is where I can land it for 120,000 words.
120,000. Damn. I'm pushing to make a 50,000 word, well, roughly, novel, and you're talking about Jesus, that's so crazy.
Wait until you finish. To say that you like editing, wait until you finish something that long, and then you're like, I gotta go back through every fucking page. Fucking, it's a heartbreaker. It's
This
so hard.
this is why after a certain number of successful books, James Patterson and all these other motherfuckers just have someone else write it. They're just like, here's the plot, here's where it ends, do the thing.
That's I don't think oh, I don't I want someone who's a dedicated editor. I want someone who can like take my manuscript now and turn it into the polished story so I don't have to do the editing. But I don't want anyone to do the writing for me. I need to do this. That's the fun part. The whole fun part is making
I
new shit.
Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I started this fucking thing with the notion of secret agent man goes to try to find out about some deeper secret shit.
Yeah.
And then
It's a character.
all of this other shit happened. And I was like, holy fuck. I wasn't expecting to write any of this.
It's fun.
It's fun,
It's fun.
absolutely. But at the same time, I was like, do I have my fucking notebook within reach? I have so many ideas, Ben. So
Yeah.
many ideas that if
So
I want to like if I hit, I won't lie. If I hit that fucking, I'm gonna find me a partner writer, and I'm gonna be like, here's all the shit. Here's my idea for this. We'll hash it out. You do the hard work. You do the
you were
fucking
just saying
legwork.
you're how can editing
The
be more fun
world
than
building.
that?
The world building.
How can the editing part be more fun than that? The part that you're trying to outsource is the fun part.
Yeah, but finding all the words it takes so long.
Mm.
Finding all the words. I am much better at just like pitching the story because my problem like it's like a inverse problem what you should have. A pitch should be
Yeah.
quick, direct, simple. My pitch is let me tell you everything about this fucking story. So
Mm.
I can
Yeah, I
tell
can't.
anyone the story, and then I'm confident that I could tell enough details to someone that they could write it all and then do all the editing.
That's yeah. I cannot pitch for shit. I also want to tell the entire story, but that's why writing the story is easy for me. Like I really like, especially book two, the long version of book two flew out of me. It was literally like 2 weeks. I wrote like 200,000 words,
Wow.
just like blah, 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 just fucking
Wow.
flew out of me.
That's
I
enough.
know,
I mean, that's good
like
though. That like that means like
this
the story's there.
this story is inside me dying to get out, and that's why editing is hard for me, is because like I don't have the perfect words, and I know that I don't have the perfect. I'm dyslexic as hell. I really need someone else's. I need an editor to do that for me. But getting the story out is easy. There's too much of it. It's fucking dying to get out of my fucking mouth.
Well, my friend, I'm excited to read more. I'm gonna dive into the Regenesis probably tomorrow. Put those on my tablet, bring it to work.
Please text me when you get to the last page of 3. You're
I
going
will. I will.
you're not going to be able to help yourself. If you were angry the last time, you might be angry this time
Oh,
too.
damn it. I was so fucking like that literally happened as I pulled into where I was going. Like it finished as I was because I don't know how I would have reacted if I got to that
Th-
end while I was driving. I was
this
fucking
one
so mad.
this one will be a little bit better because you do know you know that this is the prequel
Yeah,
to Under the Shadow of the
I know
Plateau.
the
So you
future.
know the end game, but
Right.
like this is a scene again, it's something that you know happened, but you probably never really thought about like what the practical what happened.
Okay. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah.
You'll be getting a message from me tomorrow, sir.
Yes. All
All
right,
right,
sir.
sir. Thank you for chatting with
Nice
me.
talk.
Thank you for your time. And we'll definitely be chatting again.
Yes, looking forward to it.
All right, bud.
Good night.
Night. That's going to be it for this one, folks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Of course, if you haven't, for some reason, if you haven't read any of this and you're still here at the end, frontierforever.org. Man, I'm going to have to check that because I'm pretty sure that's correct. So it is frontierforever.org, but apparently the site is down for some reason. I'm going to have to get back with him real quick. But yeah, check out frontierforever.org. It should be back up soon. But of course, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Frontier Forever, TikTok, Frontier Forever. Absolutely make sure you check it out. Regenesis is super cool. Love the art. The aesthetic is really interesting. Everything I said and more. So make sure you check it out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you in the next
about how they been living before they go living. My vision is vivid. I wander the places they marvel. The shit that I'm talking is low-key a novel. Yeah, I'm so lit, but a lonely spark. About to end game like Tony Stark.